Let's explore C for loops, an essential tool for efficient iteration in C programming. A for loop is a control flow statement that allows a block of code to be executed repeatedly based on a given condition. They're particularly useful when you know in advance how many times you want to execute a block of code. Here's the basic syntax of a for loop. For open parenthesis, int I equals 0 semicolon I less than 5 semicolon I plus plus, close parenthesis, open curly brace, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, %d, \n quotation mark, comma, I close parenthesis, semicolon, comment which says code to be repeated, close curly brace. Now let's dissect the anatomy of a for loop to understand each component. Here's a sample for loop. For open parenthesis, int I equals 0 semicolon I less than 10 semicolon I plus plus, close parenthesis open curly brace, comment which says code block to be executed, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, %d \n quotation mark, comma, I close parenthesis, semicolon, close curly brace. The first part, the initialization, which is int I equals 0, is executed only once before the loop starts, and it's typically used to initialize the counter variable. The second part is the condition I less than 10. This is evaluated before each iteration. If it's true, the loop continues. If it's false, the loop terminates. The third part is the update I plus plus. This is executed after each iteration, and it typically increments or decrements the counter variable. Let's explore some common examples of for loops to solidify your understanding. First, counting up. The code says, comment which says print numbers from 1 to 5. Int I semicolon. For open parenthesis I equals 1 semicolon I less than or equals 5 semicolon I plus plus, close parenthesis, open curly brace, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, %d, space quotation mark, comma, I close parenthesis, semicolon, close curly brace. Output, 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5. Next, counting down. The code says, comment which says print numbers from 5 to 1. Int I semicolon. For open parenthesis I equals 5 semicolon I greater than or equals 1 semicolon I minus minus, close parenthesis, open curly brace, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, %d, space quotation mark, comma, I close parenthesis, semicolon, close curly brace. Output 5 space 4 space 3 space 2 space 1. Let's dive into advanced for loop patterns to enhance your coding skills. First, multiple variables. The code says, comment which says using multiple variables in a loop. Int I, comma, j semicolon. For open parenthesis I equals 0, comma, j equals 10 semicolon I less than j semicolon I plus plus, comma, j minus minus, close parenthesis open curly brace, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, I equals %d, comma, j equals %d \n quotation mark, comma, I, comma, j close parenthesis semicolon close curly brace. Output, I equals 0, comma, j equals 10. I equals 1, comma, j equals 9. I equals 2, comma, j equals 8. I equals 3, comma, j equals 7. I equals 4, comma, j equals 6. Next, custom increments. The code says, comment which says increment by values other than 1. Int I semicolon. For open parenthesis I equals 0 semicolon I less than or equals 10 semicolon I plus equals 2, close parenthesis open curly brace, printf, open parenthesis quotation mark, %d space quotation mark, comma, I close parenthesis semicolon close curly brace. Output 0 space 2 space 4 space 6 space 8 space 10. Let's discuss best practices and common mistakes to ensure efficient and error-free for loop implementation. Here are some best practices. Initialize variables inside the loop when possible. For example, for open parenthesis, int I equals 0 semicolon I less than n semicolon I plus plus, close parenthesis. Use meaningful variable names for clarity. Avoid modifying loop variables within the loop body. Use appropriate data types for counters like int or size_t. Consider loop performance for large iterations. Now here are some common mistakes. Off by one errors, using less than versus less than or equals. Infinite loops due to incorrect conditions. Using a semicolon after the first statement. For example, for open parenthesis, int I equals 0 semicolon, I less than n, semicolon, I plus plus, close parenthesis, semicolon. Forgetting to update the loop variable. Incorrect loop bounds when working with arrays. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.